I agree that lockdown must not be imposed in Indonesia during the COVID-19 outbreak. It seems like some countries took lockdown policy as an effort to flatten the COVID-19 curve. But could lockdown that stop us from our essential activity and shutting down the border eliminates the negative consequences that may come up as a result of this lockdown policy? Today I'm going to tell you the negative impact of lockdown policy both economically and socially, and also some data and facts about what was happening in other countries during lockdown. The very first and obvious negative impact of lockdown is that it will put our economy in a really dire danger. Employment fall down dramatically. As people are retiring to be home, business is paralyzed, they won't be able to pay their worker, and people are going to lose their job. Those low skill, less education, and those who earn daily income are going to be hit the most. So does the poorer and those in vulnerable households. Not to forget that also the middle and high class income are also affected by the down economy activity. In India, those high educationals said that even if their job looks stable, but 25.3% are also feeling that they are getting lower income. And surely the containment of lockdown will affect our national economic level. As the businesses come to stand, our national income will slow down and it will rise our inflation rate. Italy is one of the countries who conducted this lockdown policy in the early of this pandemic. And according to Bank of Italy, Italy's economy shrank into 8.3% after lockdown. If this happened to Indonesia economy, we will need some years to recover. And during that time, people are going to suffer, even worse than suffering this pandemic. Hence, lockdown seems to be a one-time solution that will only follow by a massive negative impact to our economy. And socially, lockdown will lead us to the mental health issue. We believe that the purpose of the lockdown policy is to control the spread of COVID-19 virus, but it is still imperative that we also consider the other adverse effects. United States, United Kingdom, China, and India reported the rise in domestic violence during lockdown. Women are being battered by the frustrated partner who are mostly jobless because of lockdown. As one curve gets flattened, the other curve is uprising. People in dense clusters where poverty and lack of stable employment are rampant is the most to report these cases. And it literally will put women and children in a really risky life. If saving human life is the overarching objective of this lockdown policy, unfortunately, we cannot manage the side effect that also harms to human life. And furthermore, there is no guarantee that by adopting this lockdown policy, we will end this pandemic soon. Countries like United States, China, Italy, India, and United Kingdom has not ended this pandemic yet and not even show a significant decreasing after lockdown. And contrary, Taiwan and South Korea has successfully managed their confirmed cases in their territory without lockdown. So lockdown is not a measurement that we took the best choices we had in handling this pandemic. In fact, the Prime Minister of India apologized to his community for his lockdown decision and admitted that it put him in a lot of difficulty. Although it's heartening that he took the responsibility for his decision, but the burden many millions of people has to endure because of his government lack of organization is resentful. And South Africa reported that after lockdown, their local businesses and their unemployment are struggling to get back into business. So it all made it clear that Indonesia must not impose lockdown during the COVID-19 outbreak. Adopting lockdown causes long-term negative consequences and it is outweigh the instant benefit.